Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Fast Talk. I'm your host, Chris Case, and this is your source for the science of cycling performance. Today, I'm sitting down with Coach Trevor Connor and Coach Ryan Kohler, and we're here to announce our new coaching, education, and community membership, Fast Talk Laboratories. We've gotten so much from our listeners, from our members over the last 5 years about, we want more. You guys are so good at explaining the science of training. We want you as our coaches. All the time we get that comment. We want more from you, more content, more advice, more suggestions, more expertise. And now we're going to be able to deliver a lot more with this new membership program that we're launching. We have this collective philosophy that the modern athlete doesn't get the modern coaching they need out in the world today. Something's a little bit off. Something's a little broken, you might say. Not optimized might be the best way of putting it. We think our platform is able to take all of the tools that are available to athletes and coaches today and deliver. Trevor, I know that you have predominantly been the one receiving the emails from people saying, I need you right now to be my coach. I need you to devise this training plan for the next 6 years of my life. Please give it to me right now, Trevor. And you give them a look like you're giving me right now, because that's an impossible task. But tell us a little bit about your coaching philosophy that really drives home this point and drives this new program that we're launching.
Chris, sadly, I have never gotten an email that says, I need you right now.
Aww.
Yeah, look, I'm actually going to start by saying I am sorry to all those people who sent emails that I haven't replied to yet. I have a giant folder of emails I want to get to that are probably months old now. But they've been extraordinarily appreciated. And everything we're talking about right now is really trying to respond to all of you. We have gotten these messages of, we want more than just the podcast. We've gotten tons of requests for coaching, and we have heard that and have really been spending months now, and this is why Ryan is with us now, to figure out a new model for coaching. As Chris implied, there are certain ways coaching is done right now that we don't fully agree with. There's a couple talks I give to every athlete I work with, and the first one is, I don't give templated training plans. So I could build one. I could spend a lot of time. Let's say I even built the perfect training plan for the next 6 weeks. The fact of the matter is, it's the perfect template right now. It's the perfect 6-week plan for right now. But I have no idea what's going to be going on with you 5 Wednesdays from now. You could be sick. Your kids could be screaming and keeping you up all night. You could have had an argument with your spouse and didn't get a lot of sleep. And the next day we have on this perfect training plan, go out and destroy yourself on the bike, which is the worst thing you could do. It needs to be flexible. So something that we have never gotten into and we're never going to do is to generate that templated training plan, hand it to you and say, go with this. We think it will work for you. I have told athletes all the time, I would rather actually just have an interaction with you where I help you to direct your own training, but have no plan, than to give you a plan with no direction beyond that. I think we can get you to a better place that way. So that's when we were thinking about how to do this. That was one of our philosophies behind this. The other thing I tell my athletes all the time when they hire me is my goal as a coach is to get you to the point where you understand yourself and your own training so well that you don't need me anymore and you just keep paying me because you like me.
Heard that one before.
I think I've said, well, you never paid me, so I don't think I've ever said that to you.
I gave you stuff.
That's true. You did give me stuff.
This was a barter.
Included a giant light that is on my commuter bike.
Yes.
That makes my commuter bike look that much worse.
And a really ugly helmet that I think maybe you still wear?
Well, it's actually here at the office.
Oh, nice.
It's my backup helmet.
Great. Well, I'm glad it paid off in the end for both of us.
Yes. You neither need me nor will continue paying me.
And you still have a really ugly helmet.
So we're even.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
That tangent aside, there was a really important point to that message, which is I don't think any athlete can be successful as an athlete without understanding themselves, without understanding their training. Because even if you are talking with a coach every day, you're going to go out on the bike. Something's going to feel off. You're going to look at your heart rate monitor and go, that heart rate doesn't seem right for that particular power. And you have to make choices. And you have to make these choices every day. And if you don't understand yourself, if you don't understand the principles, if you don't understand how training works, you can't make the right choices. And that's, again, when I see athletes that just say, well, here's what's on my plan, and I'm going to do this. And one of the worst examples of this is I remember when I was running those trainer classes in the morning, I watched an athlete who really committed. He was cooked. And he did what his coach told him to do that day, and I basically watched him fall off his bike. And when I went up to him and tried to nicely say, you're tired, you shouldn't be doing this, he's like, but this was on my plan.
We don't want to produce more robots, more automatons. We want to produce thinking, breathing, insightful athletes.
Right. And that's what we wanted to do with this new membership. I mean, that's what we've wanted to do with Fast Talk. The whole idea behind this was we want to give you the knowledge so that you can direct your own training. So we want to take this a step further and say, we want to have more interaction with all of you. We want to, for those of you who are interested, we want to have more for you. But this isn't here's a 6-week template, go have fun. This is we are going to teach you to understand yourself so that you can direct your own training and do it to the best of your ability. Another thing that sparked this that Ryan's going to talk more about is both Ryan and I have worked at centers, working with very high-level athletes. And again, it's not here's a templated training plan, go away. It's actually much more of let's go on group rides. Let's do these different things together. And so Ryan's going to talk about our live program, which is really built off of the sort of model that you see at national training centers.
You know, we both have this background of working with national centers in large organizations in a lot of group scenarios, and we've found a number of things that really worked well. So we're trying to bring that to the Fast Talk Labs community now. We can help build your knowledge regardless of the level that you're starting at. And you can engage with us and engage with the rest of the community with people that are more knowledgeable than you and people that are on the same level. So I think just really bringing everyone together to share that knowledge. To summarize it a bit is empowerment, really, to say, well, here's how you do this and why you might do it versus, here's a templated training plan and just follow this. You know, so having that access to ask questions to us and the community, I think, is pretty key.
What really sold me on how powerful group training can be is I remember when I was at the center up in Canada, we had this kid, Tyler, who was pretty new to cycling, who joined the group, had some talent, but he certainly, when he joined us, wasn't up to the strength of the rest of the riders. And he wasn't getting any personal training. I don't even think he was getting a plan. But he just would constantly go out and ride with us and try to do what we would do, and on the rides ask us questions and all this stuff. And you could tell you could see the wheels spinning in his head, and he was learning this stuff. And he went from that, somebody who just knew nothing about training, was just trying to hang on, to 2 years later, he got third at Canadian Nationals in cyclocross.
Those group ride experiences that you've had, Trevor, at the National Center, Ryan, you've had those with your junior athletes. Those are exceptional learning environments. Now we want to have these virtual group rides indoors through our membership on platforms like Zwift. Tell us, Ryan, what that's going to look like. Take us inside the group dynamic. You've had a lot of experience in a group coach setting. We're bringing this now to a virtual world. Tell us what you were able to access from that great experience in the past and bring that to Fast Talk Laboratories.
You know, there's a lot of questions that go on, not just between the one athlete and a coach, but just questions among the athletes. So in some of the offerings we're going to be doing recovery rides where we just ride together and it's a time to chat and ask questions. We'll be able to bring this into learning how to do certain workouts where now anyone can join from anywhere. You'll understand the why.
Yeah, we actually tried this in the spring with Dr. Seiler. For those of you who remember, I think we had over 100 people, and it was a last-minute thing. We just set up this really just kind of fun, let's go do a group ride together. We all got on Discord and talked, and it was an hour and a half of riding together with a whole bunch of our listeners asking Dr. Seiler questions about training that we would all try to answer. And it seemed like it was a really good experience. And it was one of the things that we kept in mind of this is a great forum for just getting your workout in and sharing knowledge, learning from one another in this kind of unique virtual opportunity that we have.
The whole philosophy really sounds like it's bringing the performance center atmosphere into a virtual world so people can tap into expertise that they couldn't otherwise tap into. We are curating talent here for people to utilize to become better athletes.
That's the part I am the most excited about. I can tell you personally as a cyclist, I never would have won a race or probably gotten out of the Cat 5s if it wasn't for the extraordinary luck I had meeting some very knowledgeable people who took the time to share their knowledge with me. And when I went to the center in Canada and then came down here to Colorado and experienced the centers down here, I was always very lucky to be exposed to all these extraordinarily knowledgeable people who are willing to talk, willing to share. So when we said we want to create a coaching model based around this center idea, the way these national centers are set up, we went, the first thing we said is we need to have experts on a whole variety of areas of exercise science that are available to the members of our program. And Chris, you can probably speak to this because you've been the one doing the most on the day-to-day of this, but it has been extraordinarily rewarding the number of people who have said they wanted to be part of this. Dr. Seiler, Dr. Chung, Dr. Pruitt, and we hope to expand that. But these are people that members of our program are going to have opportunities to talk with.
Hey everybody, this is Grant Holicky from Forever Endurance. I'm a longtime contributor to Fast Talk Labs, and I really, really love their new platform. And one of the great things about it is all this information is just there for you in one place. You can take it at whatever speed you want to take it at. You can take it at whatever focus you want to take it at that moment. There's going to be information on there about training methodology, tips for how to race, all this just incredible information from these incredible coaches and athletes. And that's one of the great things about Fast Talk Labs is the people they've managed to bring into their community. You're getting advice from some of the finest sports science minds and some of the best athletes that are out there.
Because of the work that we do and the philosophy we bring to first the podcast, now the entire membership, about the value of science, the value of understanding the why, people have joined us. And it's Dr. Seiler, Dr. Chung, Dr. Pruitt, other coaches out there, Colby, Julie Young, Grant Holicky, and so on and so forth. And the list of people that will contribute will continue to grow as time goes on. You've seen them, many of them, on the podcast already. They kind of love what we're doing. It's what they bring to everything that they do. They love the sport. They love the science. You put those two together, and that's why they want to be a part of this.
So my favorite part about being a part of this whole team is kind of twofold. One, these are just some of my favorite people in the community to have conversations with. Secondly, I really love that Fast Talk Labs is at the tip of the spear with presenting the most up-to-date, scientifically backed information to the endurance community. So I think the greatest benefit to this platform and all the content that's a part of it is that it's information from sources you can trust, from credible scientific-based sources.
Hey everyone, during this episode you've been hearing about our new coaching, education, and community membership, Fast Talk Laboratories. And now we want you to try it out. So we have a special offer for you. Try us for 30 days free. That's right, you can get full access to Fast Talk Laboratories with our 1-month trial offer. Just sign up for an annual membership at any level by December 1st using the discount code PODCAST. You'll get 30 days of full access to Fast Talk Laboratories, including online articles, video workshops, live Q&A sessions and webinars, virtual rides and workouts, our moderated forum, and even our Ask a Coach guidance. We think you'll be impressed. But if you decide our membership isn't for you, just cancel within 30 days and you won't be charged. To get your 1-month trial membership, visit fasttalklabs.com, choose your member level, and check out with the discount code PODCAST. Hurry! Our offer ends December 1st. Let's take a step back now and really detail our Fast Talk Laboratories membership and the different levels that people can engage with us on. First, we have the listener level. It really stems from our podcast. We've got a lot of devoted fans out there. You'll notice that now the episodes, 135 and counting of Fast Talk, 27 and counting for cycling and alignment, they all have transcripts. Those transcripts are now on the pages, references, resources. You can scan through those transcripts. Those are now all available. You can search them, obviously, so you can get to a certain section of a podcast that you listen to, revisit that material. Perhaps Trevor has pronounced a word that is incorrect, or he's got that weird Canadian pronunciation going on. You might need to search that term, say, oh, he was actually saying about.
As opposed to a boot?
About. I'm not really criticizing you. I'm just saying some people might be unfamiliar with the language you speak.
Hey, I'm Dr. Stephen Seiler of the University of Agder in Norway, and I'm a longtime contributor to and a fan of Fast Talk and now Fast Talk Labs. So I'm really happy to be involved, and I think the Fast Talk Labs with Chris and Trevor and their team exemplify some aspects of the coaching and the process that I value. One is science and being evidence-based, but another is communication. Communication between coach and athlete, communication between coach and other coaches, and then finally trust, building trust in that communication, in that forum where everyone wants to learn and work together to be better. And I really believe that's what you'll find with Fast Talk Labs. So I'm proud to be part of it, and I hope you will enjoy it.
Next up, we have our library of content. It is a virtual library. It contains articles, it contains videos, it contains workshops, it contains all of these different things that you can learn from experts. We've got, of course, coaches Ryan Kohler and coach Trevor Connor. We've got pieces by Dr. Seiler. We'll have pieces by Dr. Chung. We'll have all of these contributions from world-leading experts in their field. And they'll be sitting there waiting for you to really dive into them, digest them, revisit them. You know, these are complex science topics that we like to unearth on Fast Talk and now in Fast Talk Laboratories. Let me give you a little bit more detail on what I mean here. We've got these things called workshops. Trevor, Ryan, other contributors out there will share their screen as they walk through a particular topic. Maybe that's how to perform a long, slow distance ride. We've gotten a lot of questions about that. You'd think it would be an easy thing to understand, but it's not. It's got a lot of nuance to it. So Trevor and Ryan will walk through what that looks like as you look at their data. Dr. Chung will pick apart the topic of why do I slow down, or why is performance affected when I ride in the cold weather? And he'll walk through the science of that very topic as he goes through interesting slides with a lot of interesting data and graphics and so forth. There's also straight up articles on everything from how to take care of your knees so they stay healthy to the fundamental principles of sports nutrition that Ryan recently wrote and published. We also have a wonderful forum where you can expand on all of these topics, ask questions, engage with others on all of these different topics through the forum. We know a lot of people don't just want to read or listen to more podcasts. They want to watch what we're doing. We've got those workshops that I mentioned previously. We've got technique videos, so specifically going into whether it's strength and conditioning with expert Jess Elliott, who you may have heard on previous episodes of Fast Talk. Now she's going to be producing videos for us. We've also had how to pedal a bike with Colby Pierce, a cycling and alignment episode. You probably thought, why did you guys do this as a podcast? You should have done that as a video. Well, we have done it as a video, and it's coming soon to the Fast Talk Laboratories membership. We'll also have many workout videos produced in-house with Ryan Kohler leading a lot of those workouts so that you can follow along and do them yourself.
Greetings and salutations, listeners. This is Colby Pierce. Wait, you didn't know that already? Just from the sound of my voice? Of course you did, because you listened to my podcast, Cycling in Alignment. I'd like you to know why I'm on board with this crew. I'm working with Fast Talk Laboratories because they've got it together. They've got the equipment, they've got the knowledge, and they've got the motivation, the dream to make it happen. They're doing cool stuff. And they are producing content that I believe will be valuable to my audience and their audience and build knowledge, understanding, and overstanding. If you want to go deeper on these topics, check out the membership community on Fast Talk Labs. And speaking of exclusive membership community benefits, Jana, Chris, and I recently filmed a companion video to my How to Pedal a Bike podcast. You know that episode where you thought you knew how to pedal a bike and I told you you didn't, and then I went on for 2 hours talking about how to pedal a bike? Well, there was a lot of technical stuff in that audio, and so we made a video to go along with it. And you may find this helpful, but in order to access it, you must become a member of the Fast Talk Laboratories exclusive community.
That details the library level. Ryan, why don't you talk a little bit more about the live level?
So each week we have a number of live events that we're planning on doing. We have basically 2 rides that we're looking at to get started. One is going to be a live structured workout, and then we're going to pair that with one of our easier recovery rides on Zwift, where you have that opportunity for additional Q&A. We're looking at doing a mixture week to week of, live webinars and live Q&As. And we've got one of our first webinars coming up is looking at some sports nutrition topics on how to start organizing your plan for an event. So we've got that. We've got, some mental skills. We're going to be looking at bringing in some strength training pieces live, so you can follow along there and ask those questions in real time.
What if somebody misses a live event, Ryan?
Not to worry. We'll record those. So we'll be recording everything live, but we'll also have those recordings available for you after, and you can go visit them anytime. You can go pick out the workouts that you may have missed or check in on some of the Q&A sessions and just always find those and have access to them.
This is Dr. Stephen Chung. I'm a professor in the Department of Kinesiology at Brock University in Canada. I'm also the author of the textbook, Advanced Environmental Exercise Physiology, along with being the co-editor of the book, Cycling Science. I've also been the editor since 2002 for the Toolbox feature on PES Cycling News, all about the science of cycling, along with being the chief sports scientist for Barron Biosystems and the Exert training platform. I'm really excited to be part of the Fast Talk Laboratories family because I got into physiology, I got into science because of my love of cycling. So for the last 30 plus years, that has really been my passion, to spread not just my love of cycling, but also of the science of training and the physiology of the human body and how amazing it is and how we can make it work better. And I think that's really one of the cool things that this is going to be in Fast Talk Labs, is that it's going to be a community of like-minded contributors and also members with really one shared goal in mind, and that is to use science, use solid evidence-based training advice to improve our enjoyment of the sport and also ultimately our performance. I'm really looking forward to sharing my personal areas of interest in environmental physiology and also in fatigue and exercise physiology with everyone on this platform.
Which brings us to our top level, the laboratory membership, which entails this new endurance mentorship concept. Tell us a bit more about that, Trevor.
This goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning, which is we don't want to do that templated plan for you. So this is how do we coach you in a way that we think is a lot more effective. And this is that endurance mentorship. Here again is the issue with that templated plan. What's going on with your physiology? What are your strengths and weaknesses? What are the gaps that you're trying to address? I can hand you a plan that says, here is the perfect 12-week plan to get you to whatever event. But that's the perfect 12-week plan for somebody. But is it the perfect plan for you? How do we know? What is it that you need in particular to work on? So I'm going to tell a quick story because this was what really I pictured in my head as we were designing this program, this different way of coaching, this different way of mentorship. A couple athletes reach out to me who wanted to improve their training, wanted me to help them out. I ended up getting them down to Colorado. This is back when you were running the CU Sports Center, and we got them in for a day. We did the physiological testing on them, and then Ryan and Jared sat down with them, took them through the results, said, here's your strengths, here's your weaknesses, here's what we're seeing about you as an athlete. Then talked to them. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? What are your goals? And then using that information that was unique to them in conjunction with where they're trying to get to, said, here's what you need to be doing. Here's the best training for you. And sent them off with that. And that was more helpful to them than any plan that they could have just bought that says, here's the perfect plan for getting you to that event. No, this was, here's what we see in your physiology. Here's the best bang for the buck, the best type of work for you to get where you need to. And you also offer to them, check back with us in a couple of weeks. So this was the motivation of, instead of putting together that templated plan, we want a program where we're going to test you fairly regularly. Now, no, you're not going to come here to Colorado. So this is part of what we are working on. And so we have remote testing. We are excited about some potential partnerships that we hope to announce soon. But part of this program is going to be, we're going to have you at home, whether on the train or out on the road, do some testing that then we can analyze, see you as an athlete, and then we will sit down remotely and talk with you about, here's what we're seeing about you. And testing isn't the only benefit of the laboratory membership. Yes, we are going to test you. We're going to take a look at your results, tell you what we think we need to do. But in between this regular testing, we are going to have an athlete-coach conversations, regular check-ins where we see how it's going, what sort of results you're seeing, and adjust if necessary before we get to your next test and tell you what you need to do then. So we might in that first test say, here's what we think you need to do. You go and do that, and then we have that test a few months later and say, okay, now we're really seeing those results. You've improved. Now here's what we think you should be able to do. Or sometimes it's, no, we're actually not quite seeing the results. It gives us more information about you, and then we say, let's try a different road. But it's getting at what is most effective for you. And combined with that are regular check-ins with a coach to see how things are going, see how the training's going, and then we retest you, see where you're at.
Really, it's like bringing the laboratory to you, because in reality, not everyone has access to a center like CU or a national center like you've worked at, right? So it's a good opportunity to, be able to bring that level of testing home for you. And I think the other interesting piece is, I mean, a lot of people are moving indoors now. This is the first year I've hit my mileage goal on Strava because of indoor riding. So I think with everything moving indoors, it's a way to really bring that inside and I think evolve with how we're cycling.
Let's close out this episode much like we do our traditional episodes of Fast Talk, not with take-home messages, but the things we're most excited about. This is an incredible new platform. Fast Talk Laboratories membership is unique. We want it to be something very different, very powerful. Trevor, tell me why you're so excited about this.
I have been very fortunate to have been part of many centers over the course of my career. I have seen how effective they can be, this style of coaching, this way of developing athletes. This is why we have national centers, because they know it works. When we started this years ago, we had this idea of we really want to bring people to these centers. We wanted to bring people to CU Sports. Unfortunately, right now, travel is something that isn't really an option. So that forced us to get creative and actually came up with something that I think is better, that I'm really excited about, which is instead of bringing all of you to the center, we figured out a way to bring the center to you, to create. So this is what I've been calling it to everybody is this is the virtual national center.
Ryan, what are you most excited about?
Yeah, I think having been in front of so many groups in the past with with different teams and indoor cycling classes and everything like that over the years, it's really enjoyable to work with those groups of people and just see the dynamic sort of develop. So like Trevor said, bringing that to you is really the exciting part. And it's a new model. It's all virtual right now. And I think it's going to be an exciting way to do this. So yeah, I'm excited about that group interaction, getting a lot of people involved in it and seeing what it develops into.
And Chris, what are you most excited about?
I'm a cyclist and I'm really intrigued by the science. And so now I get the pleasure of working with, honestly, some of the best scientists and researchers and athletes and coaches around the world to bring members this incredible information. So I get the fun job of curating all of that cool content, but then also turning it around and delivering it to people so that they can improve their lives, performance, health, whatever, just in purely enjoyment, ride that Grand Fondo that they never thought they could, win the state championship they never thought they could, whatever their goal might be, I get to provide information that helps them along that journey. And that's pretty exciting.
I am Coach Julie Young. I own Julie Young Training, run the Endurance Lab at Kaiser Sports Medicine, and am a longtime contributor at Fast Talk Labs. In a former life, I spent 10 plus years as a U.S. national team and international pro cyclist, spending most of that time competing in Europe. I am so excited to join Fast Talk Labs as a contributing writer. I am just wrapping up my master's in sports science and human performance and look forward to having a good reason to continue to study the science and write articles for Fast Talk, applying the science to practice. For good or bad, we are in an age of a lot of information, but is it good information? I so value what Chris and Trevor have built and are building, and their passionate, sincere dedication to empower athletes with knowledge and tools to be proactive in their own training to be their best athlete. I appreciate that Fast Talk invests the energy and time to take a deeper dive to provide the most credible, accurate information from the best in the business in science and practice. I look forward to helping Fast Talk Labs continue to develop their community and pursue their mission to make you fast.